Be sure to subscribe and click on the bell for notifications on future uploads. Hello everyone, Someone Bard here, or you can call me Sully. And continuing with Warner Bros. 100th anniversary, and that we're in the midst of its centennial year, it stands to reason that I review the original Looney Tunes movie that's mainly a compilation film, but is still fun and funny when I first saw it as a kid. Not that one. And one that was originally called The Great American Chase during its publicity and test markets in April and May of 1979, before changing the title to what it's known now. Released on September 28, 1979, it is the first Looney Tunes movie under Warner Bros. With a focused theme and director. The Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie. Director Chuck Jones has made a fun and funny movie featuring the Looney Tunes with fun characters, fun animation, and a great compilation of cartoons. Though I have seen a couple of Looney Tunes cartoons prior to this film, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas introduced me to Chuck Jones, this was the first Looney Tunes movie that I saw when it was on VHS, and I still own the same VHS copy. And it's a good one for their first feature film, as it shows Bugs Bunny in his home estate going over a very brief history of himself, comedy, and most notably, the chase, from the times of Neanderthals to when Bugs himself became known. And he then introduces a slew of cartoons with the chase motif in hand, from Bugs encountering Marvin the Martian, to Daffy Duck as Duck Dodgers, to Elmer Fudd trying to hunt bugs with Daffy intervening, to Pepe Le Pew being lovesick for Penelope Pussycat, and ending with a 19-minute collection of Roadrunner chases and Wile E. Coyote traps. On one hand, it appears like a best of Chuck Jones Looney Tunes film, as it's a compilation film of just that. But on the other hand, it makes a lot more sense than later Looney Tunes compilation films, as the cartoons are from various directors, Friz Freleng directed most of them, and the main point of a theme around the cartoons make less sense, with maybe an exception or two. Everything about it fits rather nicely with it being under Chuck Jones, and the interstitials of Bugs introducing each cartoon feels just right. If you ignore the background changes and slight character designs between the cartoons and Bugs' home, and a bit of Bugs' vocals whenever possible. The selection of cartoons, despite some of them being cut down or smashed up to fit a running time, are often funny and pretty enjoyable. And it's not until I got the Looney Tunes Gold Collection DVDs that I saw them uncut with credits included. The stuff that made me laugh as a kid still make me laugh now, along with a couple of new laughs, and some of the cartoons are pretty significant to be in this, like What's Opera Doc, taking Richard Reiner's 18-hour opera and squashing it down to 7 minutes, For Sentimental Reasons as it won the Oscar for Animated Short, Rapid Fire being the first in the Rabbit Season Duck Season trilogy, Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century being the original cartoon, long before the spin-off animated series, and Duck Amuck being one of Looney Tunes' biggest fourth wall cartoons, and perhaps my favorite of this film. Each one using the theme of the chase in various or brief ways. Even if a couple of them don't use the theme, they are a welcome addition and are nicely tied to the next cartoon. But as fun as it is to see the cavemen and cavewomen together in this montage of 1910 comedies, a couple of which I laughed at, this Star Wars opening crawl parody, a first for Looney Tunes, is very funny. And even Bugs' mention of his directors, writers, and Mel Blanc is such a sneaky but very small insight into the history of the Looney Tunes that it honestly didn't hurt that Bugs is a character and playing around with the idea of him being real, which is something the Looney Tunes do a lot. And one footnote, the film is dedicated to Dorothy, that is Dorothy Webster, who was Chuck Jones's first wife and had co-written Gay Paris with Chuck in 1962. She died before the film was released, and thus this dedication was made in her memory. And overall, the film is very enjoyable. It's pretty much Chuck Jones's Looney Tunes at its finest. A very well-made compilation of cartoons centered on one theme and running with it. And most of it made me chuckle, make small laughs, or big laughs. If the Looney Tunes movies with full-fledged narratives work in delivering interesting stories, good animation and effects, and some fun humor, this first compilation film works in delivering very good laughs with a focused viewpoint and director. 3.5 Bugs Bunnies. And that is it. So thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Facebook or Twitter, support me on Patreon. Tune in next time for a new video, and thanks for your time.